I'm going to go right ahead and grab the first cup of coffee and use 6F.
WA7YBS and Bobby Net Control today. Vintage Military Radio Net Nevada style. And so far I've heard Bill, N6BCT. And good morning, Bill. Pretty good signal. And Ron, NU6F, pounding in here. Also a smashing signal. And Mike, W7MS. Also a very good, nice sounding signal this morning. So, we'll see if there's anybody else out there that wants to get in here on the pre-net warm-up. Again, this is WA7YBS, Henry and Dayton Valley. So number 4 is open. If you want to check in, get in here early. Well, check in now.
K0DWC, W6SSP, WR6J.
Okay. And the number 4 spot's Chuck, K0DWC. Good morning there, Chuck. Good signal. Number 5 spot is Steve, W6SSP. Good morning, Steve. Good signal. WR6J, transmitting from his boat. I'm sorry, off the top of my head, I don't remember the name. So we'll test that on the as we go along here. But WR6J is in the number 6 spot. So number 7 is open if anybody wants to get in here early and be ready for the first round. Number 7 is open. Check in now.
WA6OPE.
Well, there's Tom, WA6OPE. Good to hear from you. Strong signal. And sounding good. Let's see if there's a number 8. Number 8's open. You want to check into it now? Okay, let me run down the list here. In the number 1 spot's Bill, N6BCT. In the number 2 spot is Ron, NU6F. In the number 3 spot is Mike, W7MS. In the number 4 spot is Chuck, K0DWC. In the number 5 spot is Steve, W6SSP. In the number 6 spot is WR6J. And in the number 7 spot is Tom, WA6OPE. Okay, this is WA7YBS, and I'm on the W6MIT 1625 rig this morning, and we're running that into the W6MIT linear amplifier for about 140 watts of carrier power. The receiver is the Raycal RA17C12, and the antenna is a collinear array. And that's about the size of it. So, let's see if there's one more. Anybody else who wants to be number 8 and get on the list here. Number 8 is open. If you want to check in, do it now. Okay. Let me run down the list real quick again. Number 1, N6BCT. Number 2, NU6F. Number 3, W7MS. Number 4, K0DWC. Number 5, W6SSP. Number 6, WR6J. And number 7 is WA6OPE. Up to, or I should say down to Half Moon Bay, down to Bill. N6BCT. Go ahead, WA7YBS.
Wow, you're going to start early.
Yeah, but also the rattle bowl. I'm going to put it off more today. Well, I've got the taking out of the other one is the other one anyway, the other one is the by browsers in work. It is app-based and anyway, so on the different SWRs we had before. K0DWC, I think it was, that was SWR, and I had a browser what is it? Anyway, the browser, Firefox, the browser didn't work. It wouldn't download onto my old computer here, and so there we go. So that's the story here. So we can in this stuff and put brother 2020.
Let me break in real quick there and acknowledge Vern, K6VXY. Vern, you're in the number 8 spot. So there you go, number 8, Vern. Go ahead, Ron, NU6F.
Thank you.
Okay, good deal, guys. Well, I'm on the SCR 274N this morning, and as such, why, I could tell Bill was there, but I could also tell everybody else in 50 or 60 KC was there, so. All right, well, everybody else sounds fine, though. And nothing new, P17 mic, and this is the metal. This is the only metal case, pot metal case, P17 mic I have. And I don't see a manufacturer on it anywhere, so I don't know who made them, but it still works. It's one of the best ones I got. And antenna, the inverted L, same old, and let's see, running into the amp, and I've got 200 watts carrier. Okay, with that, go ahead and take it away, Mike, W7MS, NU6F.
Well, thank you, Ron. NU6F in the vintage military net W7MS Mike in Reno. Well, good morning to one and all, and especially to Vern. You made it in the nick of time there. Congratulations on being number 8. Also nice to hear WR6J. I think he's at a fixed location at his new house there. So we'll get the specifics from him. Great to hear Tom this morning. And also the same for Steve, Chuck, Ron, and Dad. And nice to know that Ron's on the high fidelity SCR 274N. And I didn't know he was a metalhead, that he's a heavy metal guy, but great to get some updates on your on your activities. So again, Mike in Reno this morning running the Collins 18S4, which has been in service at this call sign since 2006. But a little bit different here. It's Robert had mentioned his version last Sunday, which got me invigorated to get the 18S4 on the air this morning. We'll get maybe into specifics a little later, but if not the first, one of the first Collins avionics aircraft products following World War II. So that's probably enough of a teaser. So over to you, Chuck. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike. W7MS in the group K0DWC. Well, good morning to everyone. Nice crowd this morning. That's always good. And Mike, you sound on something very distinctive. It's almost like I've heard it before, which I probably have, but your audio seems just a little bit different, but your Q5 copy, no problem at all. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that in the next go-around here. But anyway, we're on the ART13 again this morning with the T32 microphone with the electret module in it. And running the big brute AC power supply, everything through an inverted B outdoors, and running approximately 200 watts. I think it's probably a little less than that, but you know how meters are. But anyway, and we're listening this morning on the rack-mounted SX28A. receiver, and the BC1031C pan adapter from New London Instrument Company. So that is the rundown here, and I've heard everybody so far, and I will send it over to Santa Rosa to Mr. Steve, W6SSP, in the group K0DWC. Go ahead and take her, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Chuck, and good morning, everybody. Boy, it's cold this morning here. About 32 degrees outside, and no heat in the shack, so it's cold here. Anyway, basking in the warm glow of the usual Collins 32 V1 transmitter, about 85 watts out into the dipole, and receiver is the matching 75A1 with a 104 microphone. Good sized group today, so we'll keep it rolling, and we'll send it over to, let me see if I get this right, WR6J. Take it.
Good morning to the net, WR6J here. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. My name's Richard, WR6J. You are right that I used to be on my boat. In fact, I'm still on my boat 50% of the time. But as Mike said, I do in fact now have a land-based home. I bought a house down in Paso Robles, or up, depending on where you are, down from where I was, up in Redwood City. So I'm here about half the time. So I just this last week or so got myself set up. I've got a set up here in the shack. I've got a shack here set up in the garage, and I've got a little bit of room. I'm on a little bit of a hill, so hopefully I'm getting out okay. This morning I'm running, just took a few minutes to try and set everything up quickly. I'm running my Viking Valiant. I'm running about 100 watts of carrier, and it's being externally modulated with an old UTC modulation transformer and a single-ended tube output transformer that's being driven by a Crown power amplifier and some other stuff for the microphone. And I've got a doublet for about 80 meters up to about 45 feet. So it's great to be on the net again this morning. I'm hoping to be more regular. I'm only down here half the time, as I said, so I'll only be able to make about every other net roughly. But looking forward to hearing the rest of it. I will pass it along, keep things moving. Over to WA6OPE. This is WR6J.
Yeah, here we go. WR6J, WA6OPE. Good morning. Caught me across the room. Yes, the cold room out in the garage shack. Let's see. The rig here this morning is the old usual, reliable, still works, TCM transmitter, U.S. Navy, World War II. It's actually older than I am, believe it or not, and by about a year. And let's see here, and the receiver is the RBC. Never got around to fixing the RBB. Too many other projects going on. It's off the air at this station for a while due to the antenna wire. We had a couple of big windstorms here a couple of months ago, and the wire on this antenna, an inverted L, is old. It's been up for, 30 years, and it's getting brittle, and when it flexes a lot in the wind or whatever, it breaks. And it broke again. Broke on this end. Let's see here, it's still on the air. I see the signal strength meter on the receiver kind of flipping around. And still got antenna current. Anyway, so it dropped off and dropped the insulator. I had a weight insulator plus a standoff insulator. Dropped those, broke one of the insulators. So I had to redo the end of the antenna wire, attach it to the bowl that comes through the wall. And sure enough, every time I had to scrape it and scrape it and scrape it to get all the green crusties off so I could solder and make a nice loop out of it or whatever, a damn thing kept breaking. The individual wires in the stranded, individual strands kept breaking, so I'm going to have to replace that wire. And it never ends. And so many projects. Well, anyway,
I want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning to Ron, and good morning to Mike. Good morning to Steve. Long time no talk, Steve. How's it going? And WR6J, never talked with you before. Nice to run into you. Good signal. Everybody's got good signals this morning. I have some broadband crud, new broadband crud running around here. I don't know what the hell that one is. This is a new one. And that's something that never changes, too. So, I think this is going to be a one and done for me because it is kind of chilly out here. And I'm going to have to go inside and get myself another cup of coffee and see what's going on. So I'm going to say 73 to everybody, and then I'm going to turn it over to K6BXY. Yeah. Vern? Yeah, K6BXY, WA7YBS.
Okay, nice to hear you again there, Ron. Tom, I'm sorry. Over in Richmond area. This is K6VXY. I thought I was a little early. I guess my clock was wrong. And I wound up at number 8, and I thought I was going to be one of the top people checking in. The Marauder's still here. I'm using the 7200 because it's a good thing I did. It was a lot of wire switching to do. I'll get it on next week. Sorry about missing a couple of weeks. Been kind of busy late. My wife is in rehab this second time, I guess. She went to the first one and then had to take her back down to emergency, and they put her in the second one, which is more for exercise. She was having a hard time getting up. She fell, not a big fall, but she did fall from the couch to the floor and couldn't get off the floor. And I had a neighbor try to help me and couldn't do it, so we had to call the people that do the ambulance service here in Golden out of the fire department. And they took her down there. And the place she's at now, they're going to be exercising arms and legs especially. And that's sort of what I had last fall, which was a secondary exercise. Although she's staying there overnight, I would be going in for appointments twice a week with the exercise. That did wonders for me. I'm hardly using the cane, and that's the danger again. I keep losing it. Where is it? I don't know. Somewhere. Okay, I'm running the 7200 with the AL811H at about, right around 100 watts. And I was going to fire up the Marauder today, but I fell asleep yesterday at the wrong time and didn't have time to do that. There's a lot of wire switching. I remember one of the guys here, Mike, was getting a kick out of it. Yeah, you've got to do those wire switches on Saturday. Don't try doing it on Sunday. Boy, was he right. Okay, so I'm running A11H and running to the dipole, which is doing a great job. It's been somewhat squirrel-proof. They're out there. They're running around. They luckily have not bothered a couple of areas that is vulnerable where I haven't put the protective cable on to hoist it up. So we'll see. But it definitely points north-south, and for me, north-south is pretty much favoring the area between Carson City and Dayton. So it's pretty good. Chuck and Russ. Good morning to Chuck and Russ and Mike, by the way, and Bill. And good morning to Steve. I'm not sure of the call, but strong signal, WR6J. You can tell me the next time. You'll be turning it over to me, I guess. Good morning to Tom, in and out there. And I'll turn it back to, I hope I haven't forgot anything. Neck control. We had lots of fog last night. It was real foggy coming back. Anyhow, for my wife's situation, she's getting better, getting stronger. But she is just got to be stronger so she can be like she was maybe when you guys saw her. She was getting around pretty good. Back to net, WA7YBS and group K6BXY.
K0W and South Lake Tahoe.
And W6NQI.
K8.
Okay. We got Frank in there, KB0W, and we got Dave, W6MQI. So I'm going to turn it over to Frank. You're number 9, Frank, and then you turn it to Dave. He'll be number 10, W6MQI, and then Dave turn it back to me, WA7YBS. Go ahead, Frank.
Don't forget Robert and Grants Pass.
Okay, and number 11 will be W7MKA. And I thought I heard somebody in there, but there was a lot of activity. So over to Frank, KB0W. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Here we go. Are we on the air? Yeah, we are. Okay, yeah, it's KB0W in South Lake Tahoe. Thank you, Henry, for running the net, and I wanted to say good morning to everybody. Bill, Ron, Mike, Chuck, Steve, Roger, Tom, Vern, Dave, and I didn't catch the last one because I had my receiver switched out. But good morning to everybody. The signals are really nice, and it's a pleasure to be on the air again on AM. Anyways, let's see. Vern, sorry to hear about your wife, and I hope her recovery is rapid and complete. Having been ill this year, well, last year rather, severely, it's really a son of a gun. So, anyways, my regards and my hopes and wishes for her. And the signals are all pretty nice this morning. A lot of hash on the air, RFI, but besides that, the signals are pretty strong. And I'll see, what am I running this morning? I'm running the same old, the restored Johnson 500. It's 5763 driving 4400 and modulated by 811s rather, and it's about, looks like 320 watts. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dave, W6MQI, and again, thanks Henry for running the net. Your signal's really loud this morning. Over to Dave, W6MQI, this is KB0W.
All right, KB0W, W6MQI. Alrighty, Frank, a little bit of QSP on your signal. But good morning to everybody. Everybody's, what signals I did hear, everybody was sounding really good this morning. Kind of getting here a little late. Checking out the weather back in Indianapolis where my daughter is. Getting buried back there with snow. I'm sure Frank would like to have some snow. But boy, the Midwest is getting hammered. Let's see, it's 36 degrees here in Livermore. And we're on the TCS set, TCS 14 transmitter, TCS 6 receiver, driving the Drake L7 for maybe 150 watts or so, using the modified RS-38 microphone. And that's the run down here. And up to Robert, and just heard you briefly, Robert, so I don't know how well you are down here. Can't give you a signal report, but over to Robert, W6MQI.
All right, W6MQI in the group, W7MKA. Well, good morning to all. And here I am, stumbling out here a little late, but good signals. And it's good to hear Tom. And yeah, there's excellent signal in here from Richmond, and we are on a BC 669 this morning, so running 50 or 60 watts or something like that. Yeah, maybe even closer to 70 on this particular one. So I'll keep it moving in case there's stations are not copying me. So back up to a net control WA7YBS to take it, W7MKA.
Okay, Robert. W7MKA, WA7YBS, okay. Well, very good on everybody. 73 to Tom, WA60PE, and yes, the old breaking antenna wires due to corrosion Yeah. Well, good luck on your repairs. I guess you got it somewhat continuous right now, but who knows what will happen in the future. Richard, sorry about not remembering the name, but what a signal. You're sounding great. And the Valiant with external audio. That's what that thing needs, is external audio. It really sounds good. And let's see, Robert on the BC669 for 70 watts. You're doing really well into here, into Dayton Valley. And Dave on the TCS, Frank on the 500, Vern on the modern rig, and Steve on the Collins B1 and A2, or B1 and A1, I'll get it right. Chuck on the RT13, and Mike on the 18S4, and Ron on the 274D. And Bill, with his problems with his internet provider or his browser or something there, was giving him a little bit of trouble on the SDR, access to the SDR receiver. Anyway, if you're having trouble with Bill, try switching on the BFO and zero beating him. It really clears up his signal. The exalted carrier. It works for me. And so anyway, let's see what's going on here. Temperature-wise, it was 10 degrees this morning, a little on the nippy side. So clear skies, and so naturally this time of year, it's generally going to be pretty cool when we have clear skies. Let's see, what else? Let's see if there's anybody else out there. We do have, more spaces. Number 12 is available. If you want to check into the Vintage Military Radio Net on the first go-around, here, we'll go ahead and check in now. Okay, with that, let's start round 2. And Richard, WR6J, you'll turn it to Vern, because Tom has signed. And I'm sure you've got that written down anyway, but just a reminder. With that, let's turn it up to Bill, N6 BCT, WA7YBS. Go ahead.
WA7YBS and 6 Bravo Tango. Good morning, all, and Mike and W7MT, that I'm on the different SDR. Good SDR number 1. And a half on days. And well, there we go. And that's the story here. It's like a 725 watts, and this radio is wrecked up, and maybe I got to buy a new radio, but it's able to get calm to nothing, and it's able to do everything. So right now I'm on VFO, and so people in the 7920 car, and on the home video, home channel, it's on this UAC-100D radio. So when I still around 25 watts carrier level. So that's the story here. So it's similar to when they set up and set Bravo Tango.
Okay, Bill. Yeah, I heard you a little better that time. There was no QRM, but still rough copy. But I didn't hear you weren't using the KPH or KFS, or you switched to one of the other SDRs. All right. Well, good copying, everybody. And wow, I was surprised. Richard, when you said you weren't on the boat, but down in Paso Robles. Man, that's a great signal from the Valiant from down in Paso Robles. That's my old stomping ground. I went to Cal Poly there in late 60s, early 70s. So great. And got almost no RFI this morning, so it's clear air and 73 to Tom if you're still listening from out in the house and looking at the fraying wires on the antennas, which brings up another question. I'm sure Henry has an answer. I've still been real active every night on 630 meters, and anyhow, the new amplifier has been running nightly now for the last week at 400 watts, and it'll easily do 600. And it's running cool, no issues. And anyhow, I was going to work on a different impedance matching transformer out at the base of the loading coil. So I got some number 16 gauge Litz wire, 650 strands at number 44, and I'm having a devil of a time getting a really good solder connection, and I'm going to have to make 10 taps on this big core, so it's going to be quite the challenge. I've tried most of the methods. They kind of look okay, but if you look under a magnifying glass, you'll see there's still some carbon buildup, and some of the connectors are not soldered in there. Anyhow, so I'm sure Henry has an idea. Although this is really pretty big Litz wire. I mean, 650 strands, so here's a lot of little wires in there. And Vern, sorry to hear about the wife, but glad to hear she's on the mend and should be back home before too long. Yeah, where is the cane? Well, I've only had to use that from the 2 hip replacements, and I'm guessing later on in years, something else will go out. Mostly, I guess it's the balance is the worst case. And everybody else is sounding great. Steve, Chuck, Mike, and Henry, and I even heard Robert in there on the BC669, although it's kind of pushing it for the SCR 274. And there you go, Dave, on snow in Indianapolis. Well, for a change, we're almost in the banana belt out here. Frank, great signal, and I'm guessing the same thing. You're probably hearing no RFI off the power line. All right, with that, take it away, Mike, W7MS, NU6F.
Well, thank you, Ron. NU6F, W7MS. Well, good reception from all. A little difficulty with Bill, but that's typical, not atypical. But a few comments here. Well, Ron, on your Litz wire, we're waiting for Henry's comments. And you've probably done all the usual tricks with small gauge bus wire wrap and all that stuff, but we'll be anticipating any comments from Henry on that subject. And again, good morning, Chuck and Carla. I'm sure Carla's somewhere in the background. And Steve, wondering any forward progress on the H&K transmitter. What have you been up to there? Richard in Paso Robles, good signal from your fixed station. So great to hear you, and as others have commented, great audio. And Vern, I guess everything's being done correctly as far as rehab for the wife. So much success and rapid success in that area. Her return back to Pine Mountain Lake. And Frank, always a pleasure to hear you from near and about South Lake Tahoe. And I'm sure if you give a ski and snow report, it's going to be a negative one based on what we all know. And Dave, great to hear you on the TCS gear. And Robert, great to hear you from Grants Pass on the 669. So a little elaboration on the 18S4, probably circa late 1945, 1946, and as has been mentioned on previous operating occasions, they copied the high-level stages from the ART-13, uses an 813 in the PA, pair of 811s modulating the well-known kryptonite ART-13 mod transformer, and you know, variation on the driver stages, internal dynamotor, which I think is the DY17A version, but it's been a long time since I've been to the the dynamotor in this thing. It's 50 pounds and sitting on a shelf, so it requires major motivation to open it up. And of course we are operating dynamotor here, about 150 watts of carrier here on 3974, and a little amplified bass D104 microphone. So that's the short version here. Interesting aspect is the receiver, which uses conventional tubes like 6BA6s, 6B6s, but they're being operated on 28-volt plate power, with the exception of the audio amplifier, which runs the infamous 28D7, which certainly has earned its reliability issues in the annals of vacuum tube infamy. So with that, over to Chuck. And it's still 10 degrees here in Reno. Nothing's changed. K0DWC W7MS.
Okay, Mike, W7MS in the group K0DWC. We're very good. Yeah, Mike, that 18S4 sounds great. And I did hear a dynamotor in the background, and from here anyway, that dynamotor sounds pretty doggone healthy. So, but anyway, you're getting out big time. Nice signal. And congratulations on that. I think it's been a while since you've run that. If I remember right, the 18S4 Collins. But I knew it was in your arsenal, so to speak. But anyway, great signals from you. And I did want to say good morning to Frank, and to Dave, and to Robert. Robert, there seems to be the last few weeks, it seems to have been a halfway decent path from Grants Pass down here to Dayton Valley. So that's always a good thing. But as Henry attested to, you're coming through really, really nice on 70 watts on the BC669. And Dave, the TCS14/TCS6. Big signal in here this morning. Frank, big signal. Very nice signal. 7-3s to Tom. It's good to hear you, Tom, if you're still listening this morning. I do want to welcome Richard back, WR6J. I know Richard's checked in quite a few times in the past. And congratulations on your new home in Paso Robles. And half the time there, half the time on the sea. So great job there. It's nice to have you back. Welcome back to the Vintage Military Radio Net. Let's see. Steve, you got a big signal as usual here this morning. Mike, big signal. Ron, you still got a really strong signal for the PRC 174. No problems there at all. And Bill was still just about Q5 copy. I probably got 80% of what he was saying, but you know, that's pretty much the norm. But anyway, Vern, we were sorry to hear about the Mrs. Bless her heart. Give her our best, and I want to wish both of you good health, and take care of each other. And hopefully we'll see you maybe at Brad's, maybe. But give the missus our best. So let's see. Yeah, it's pretty cold here too. I had to do a lot of ice busting this morning here. It was really cold. I'd say it was probably 10 degrees. Of course, I live 1.5 miles from here. I think usually most of the time we're usually probably 3 degrees warmer than him because we don't live near the river. Henry's right on the river. I think that's that adds a little bit to the temperature there. But anyway, we'll keep going. We'll keep it going, and I'll send it back over to Santa Rosa to Mr. Stool, W6SSP and K0DWC.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. K0DWC, W6SSP. Boy, conditions were fantastic but they're still around now. So, oh well.
Take it while it's the way it comes, I guess. Anyway, good to hear so many people on here. Large group and fantastic mix of equipment. Nice to hear a couple of Johnson rigs on there. Always have a warm spot for those. We've got quite a few here along with Collins stuff, and really like all of that. Let's see, comments. Vern, sorry to hear about your wife. Hopefully rehabilitation goes well. I know my wife had to go through that a while ago when she had a mild stroke. She recovered pretty fast, but touch and go there for a while. And Mike, the 18S4 Collins, I've never heard of that. So you always put stuff on the air I've never heard of, so I'll look it up on the net. Oh, it sounds really good. Everybody sounds really good today. And concerning the Hines and Kaufman transmitter, I've pretty much gone through and evaluated it. I've converted it over from the ultra rare H&K 257Cs to using IMAX 4-65As, both in the PA and the modulator. But I'm still missing the PA coil, which is a TVL80, BMW TVL80. So I'm not going to do any more on that until I can find one of those coils. It shouldn't be that hard to find. I hear it's the same coil that's used in the Globe King 500. It is pretty unique, though. I don't know of any other rig that it's used in. And since I have to use those, so I'll put on the back burner for now. Other projects this week, it's been pretty cold in the shop, so I haven't spent a lot of time there recently. So I have been installing a Spark Era Helix coil. It's pretty large. It's about a foot long, 8 inches in diameter, and uses flat solid copper. About, I think it's 5/16 wide and 1/8 inch thick. And it's missing one of the end pieces and one of the 4 supports. So this week I've been fabricating a replacement support, which was quite a trick. I had to put grooves in a piece of plastic that was about 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch. And getting the grooves the right width was pretty difficult. I finally found a blade that would work in my table saw that was the right width. So that's completed. Mount the entire coil on a piece of stone, 12-inch square stone. So that's the project this week, and then the other end I'll fabricate a wood piece for that, and call that done. That was something I picked up from World Jet Company, you guys knew him, W0ELN. He's a silent key and has been a silent key for a while, but he was really into this sort of stuff, and got a few things from him over the years. The other extreme, I picked up another Faculty Labs unbuilt kit, DCX, which is a single band CW, fits in the shirt box, about 5 inches. And I'm going to build this one up for 30 meters, since I already have one for 40 and one for 20. So that's a project. I've got some parts on order for that. So I'm working on both extremes of ham radio hobby day these days, from Spark Era to the very latest. So guys, it's cold here. I'm going to say 73 and pass it on to Richard, WR6J, W6SSP. 72 guys.
W6SSP and the group, WR6J. Thanks for the other listeners, and 73 to you too. I must say, thanks so much to everyone for the welcome back. I didn't feel like I was on the net that many times earlier last year, but Henry, Ron, Mike, Chuck, and all of you, thank you so much for the welcome back, and thank you for the nice signal report. It does feel really good to be on the air, and it feels really good to be on the air from a fixed location. Working from my boat was a lot of fun, but honestly, there was a limited amount of space, and I could only really set up for one project at a time. So early last year, I set up for AM transmitter stuff and was building and experimenting. But, you know, it could only last for a few months, and then I had to put it all back into storage. So being here and being able to operate from a house and having a permanent setup is glorious. So I've joined the group with everybody that's actually got a normal setup. Quick comment on the rig. Like I said, it's a Viking Valiant running at about 100 watts of carrier. And the way I'm modulating it is I picked up an old UPC 1936 variable max modulation transformer. And what I've done is I've taken a tube transformer, an output transformer to tube amplifiers. I also build audio amplifiers sometimes. And I've connected it up so that the high impedance output of that, well, it's normally the input, but the high impedance output is connected to the high impedance side of the audio transformer, sorry, the modulation transformer. And then I'm using a current amplifier on the mic 2 amp to drive that output transformer backwards by putting a 4 ohm load into it and modulating the Valiant. It's a fun experiment. I'm certainly not the first person to do it, but it's not that common. And then the rest of the setup, I've got a SA-2060 tuner and a doublet. And I'm on a little bit of elevation up here. I'm up at about 1,200 feet and about 15-20 minutes east of Paso. Up in the foothills, so I think a little bit of elevation is helping me out. A few other comments before I pass it on. Mike, you said sounds like you said your old stomping ground and you were at Cal Poly, so wonderful to hear that you were down here. I'm loving it down here. My family's from Philippines down there at a house about 20 minutes away from where I am, and that was obviously one of the reasons to pick this place up, and I plan to make this my retirement home. So for you, Mike. Also, at some point I'm curious, it sounds like you're working 630 meters. I did a little bit of 630 meter stuff back before it was a handbag. I'm an FTC experimental license. Now I've got the space, I want to get back into that, so I'd love to check in with you if that's what you're up to. And to Vern, I'm going to pass it over to a minute. I do hope your wife continues to rehab successfully and with you shortly. And with that, actually one other thing on the station. I'm listening on Lost 2817, a little tiny rig. I'm hoping to get a couple of these things set up here yet. Hoping to buy a boat anchor at some point, but I'm going to get a Kiwi SDR and plug that in the next few weeks. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Vern. Code 6 VXY in the group, WR6J.
Thank you, Richard. Castle Robles. You're down there, my brother. He lives and been there for a long time now. His kids went to Cal Poly, and I guess Mike did too. And he's been down there a long time in a place called Arroyo Grande. And he likes it there. I like it there, but I like away from the ocean. A lot of people like to walk along the beach. I'm not one of those. Yeah, I like it up in the mountains better. And I want to thank you all. Just thought everybody commented on the Barb and her situation. We're having a meeting on tomorrow and possibly on Tuesday with the staff and everything to decide on the future. She has a short-term stay there and then a long-term stay where she can stay if it needs it. But she was pretty weak the other day when we took her. See, when was it we got her up? Well, we didn't completely get her up. That was the fire people, the fire department that took her to the hospital. But she was, what was I going to say? Well, anyhow, she got up, and now she's getting up and going around taking care of herself better, but not ready to come home yet, I can tell that. We had a couple three-way conversations yesterday her sister and brother, they're back east. We're trying to reach her, and I thought, I know what. And Mr. Chancellor, what's wrong with you? That's me. How about you call them from the bedside here with Barb? So I did. So yesterday afternoon, I called her brother in Green Bay, and his temperature report was 10 below zero, and he was talking about that snow that, gee, that's a mess down there going through Tennessee. I guess partially it's also Kentucky and then Ohio, all that, really bad. And then Mary, her sister, is in New York, north of Syracuse, and they're going to get some snow, but I think it was more like 50 degrees there. I told them, well, it's 53 here in California, the area around Sonora and also Pine Mountain Lake. So anyhow, with that, well, thank you all for your comments, and yeah, she's getting much perkier, like her old self. But I've never had anything like that with osteoporosis. I had, the knee surgery, and that was a recovery thing because of the operation where she had this thing that comes from osteoporosis, and she has got to get up more, and that's what they're doing with her, get her up and around. And anywhere you go with the older people and the staff and the nurses and doctors, they all have one word: move, movement. You must be moving up and around, moving. And too many people lay around, and it's not a good thing to do. Anyhow, but thanks for your comments on that. So I guess who number 5 was. I guess I actually was number 8. There was a mix-up there. There were 2 number 8s on my list, but I don't know who number 5 was, so we're okay. So anyhow, I'm going to turn it over to Frank. Oh, by the way, signal's strong, but the best, and it may be the best I've ever heard, is Henry in Dayton Valley. Maybe it's a river boost, but he's the only signal consistently strong. I don't know how he's running, but he's 30 over. And others only be reached 10 to 20 over, but boy, Henry is blowing it. That was on the last transmission and the first one, so we'll see what happens. I guess 73 round will be coming up there. So over to you there, excuse me. I turned it over to Frank, not the one I'm thinking of. Why did I write down Frank here? I guess that's it. Oh, Richard is, no, Richard turned it over to me. I turned it over to Tom, but not Tom anymore. He checked out, so I turned it over to Frank. K0DWC Johnson, 500 there, running, he's running some 811. K6 VXY rambling on again. Gotta stop that. Thank you all.
Okay, W7VXY, KB0W, and once again, my hopes and wishes for your wife there, Vern. Henry, yeah, your signal is really loud. You hit 35 over on your last transmission on my 75A4, and my dipole is oriented north-south, so I don't think that's really helping all that much. But anyways, great signal, whatever you're running. And all the signals are really loud this morning. It's just fabulous. Mike's always loud, 20 over, and Steve, you're 15 over. And oh, Richard, I wanted to say good morning to you. I think I heard you when I lived in Gold River, which is in near Sacramento, when you were on your boat. But anyways, you're on your first mission. You're
your Viking Valiant sounded very, very good, and congratulations on the new digs there. And let's see if I can keep my mic opened up here. I wanted to say good morning to Robert. Your BC669, your 70 watts was on your last transmission was doing 10 over. Anyways, yeah, the snow up here really sucks. It's skied 3 times last week, and rocks, dirt, tops of brush sticking up out of there. It's got to be the worst snow season we've had here in years, and there's absolutely no snow in no precipitation in the forecast for the next 10 days, which is really, really bad. It's going to be a terrible fire season if this doesn't improve. And it isn't any fun to be evacuated, and I guess it's a lot worse being evacuated and having your house burned down. So nothing good about this, and it's about 20 degrees here. It's been very cold in the evening. Anyways, this is going to be my 73 round. Really enjoyed listening to AM, beautiful signals, and I'll try to be on next week. So I'm going to turn it over to Dave in Livermore, who was 15 over on your last transmission, and 73 to everybody. W6MQI in Livermore. This is KB0W.
KB0W, Gilroy, he was always really loud in the Livermore too. Always able to get past in that direction. I was looking at Collins 18S4 on the internet. How do you, is that crystal controlled, Mike? I know it has a remote. That's most of the channel selection. I don't see anything on the radio itself to manipulate frequency. Is it crystal controlled? I'm curious about that. Yeah, Cal Poly, down there myself. Wrecked my motorcycle down there one time. Kids don't drink and ride motorcycles. They don't mix. But had a lot of fun down there. I had a friend who was going to school one time there. We used to go down there, and a bunch of us used to go down there. Just stupid things. Not much in the way of radio stuff here. I should have never started flying the RC airplanes because I'm getting nothing done around here. Everything is taking a back door. Nothing is getting done. That's all I do now. And my HS amplifier kind of sitting on the bench. I have a pile of parts that I got from Mojo Electronics for my 630 meter amplifier. And they're all still wrapped up in a bag. I haven't done anything with that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen around here. So that's about all that's going on here. And yeah, Vern, the snow. My daughter's back in Indianapolis, and she's a nurse. She had to work last night, and my wife was just a wreck until she had to drive home. But it wasn't too bad. Everybody was driving slow, being sane about it. I was looking on the internet today, this morning. They got those storm chaser guys that drive around all day and live feed their video and they were driving through Indianapolis. And it looks like they got about a foot of snow or so, but they're set up for that stuff back there. Boy, the plows and everything are running through, and so she'll be okay. She'll be okay. But anyway, that's all I got going here. And Robert, the BC669, doing good down here in the water. He's on the last half. We'll see about this time. Up to Robert, W7MKA, W669.
W6MQI and the group W7MKA. We've had a few sidewinders wake up here, so it was a little tougher copy that time. And I didn't get Richard at all. Just to tell that he was in there. Well, in Indianapolis, struck a bell here. I think it might be the song, wasn't it? Something like Dodgers don't make real green apples, and it won't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. I think that's the song, but it reminded me of that. And also, Mike, good to hear the 18S4. I definitely can hear the dynamo running there, but it sounded good. And maybe that'll load. I've got one of those here. I guess there's somebody told me what everybody else is doing. And I had no idea that they were using low play voltage in the receiver. That's a manual something. I have to look into that. A Nuvo radio. One of a couple aircraft sets here that are. I just sort of to the top of the But we'll keep it moving. Back up to the top, I think. W7YBS to take it, W7MKA.
Okay. There would help if we had a little bit of juice there in the feed line. And so anyway, very good on all. Yeah, Robert was down quite a bit that time, and about 70% copy. So yeah, the conditions are changing. Let's see. I'll respond to the Litzwire deal there. What I've done on Litzwire is it only applies to the end. I don't know how you do a tap, but I've used an X-Acto knife and scraped the wires, and then twisted them together, and then soldered them that way to get pretty good coverage. The other way is what Mike mentioned, which is to wrap, do that and then wrap it with a small gauge wire and solder that way, kind of a way to hold the solder in there. But heat's the thing. You got to get enough heat to that thing, to the wire, to get the solder to flow all the way into all of those different strands. But the strands are, they're coated with enamel or whatever. Makes it difficult. And, hopefully heat melts that away. One other stripping technique is a hot pot, where you have a solder pot, and do it that way, dip it, and you get a lot of heat that way. And what we used to do at Bentley was we had, I think we had, it was 600 degrees or 700 degrees, something like that, sodium hydroxide in a hot pot. And of course that's just lye, like 600 degree Drano. And we would dip the wires in that, and let me tell you, whatever is on that wire comes off. It comes out of that sodium hydroxide very clean. But anyway, don't recommend doing that. Had a gal who was stripping wires with the hot pot and the sodium hydroxide, and got a splash of the sodium hydroxide on her fingernail, burned right through into the flesh under the fingernail. Not stuff to really deal with. But anyway, that's the story on stripping wire and Litz wires and stuff. Let's do the 73 round. We will say 73 to Steve, W6SSP, to Frank, KB0W, and I think everybody else is still hanging in there. So up to Bill, down to Bill, Let's do the 73 route and 6 BCT WA7YBS.
Okay, well, Bill, I could barely tell there was something in there. So signals are definitely dropping off. And the poor little SCR 274 R5 receiver is doing all it can. But anyhow, good copy on all except for, yeah, Robert kind of fell off the end. But sure if I'd switched receivers, I probably would have heard everybody fine. And Dave, okay, on the RC planes, yeah, you know, that is the problem with retirement. Which pastime do I get absorbed into next? Always something. And okay, a good deal on the daughter making it back from the hospital. And now, yeah, now the XYL and the rest of these. Frank's already signed, but yeah, crappy snow season, very little moisture, fires. Yeah, it was just, I was almost there 30 years up in Gold Run, and several evacuations, neighbors that lost everything, and insurance canceled. Yeah, it was time to move to Nevada. But in Vern, okay, on stuff there with the Marauder and all the switching. Yeah, it was like well, like Richard was saying about switching stuff around on 630 meters when I go here too. Same thing. I got to go ahead and I've got it a little more automated now with some remote relays out at the antenna, but some big high voltage relays. But yeah, Richard, yeah, I got started on 630 meters back in 2024, late 24, with the BC375, and talked to Andy, KD6TKY, and then what few stations are on CW, most 99% of the activity is all digital. And of the digital, 95% of that is all just whisper beaconing and reception and uploading. The two-way QSO mode, FST4, either a 60 or either a 60-second or a 120-second format. You still even almost have to prearrange contacts with that. And in this last year, I built up my station to take to the Azores, my other QTH on Flores Island, CU8, and so that was a real blast. Did several firsts for Azores QSOs on 630 meters, and got a lot of activity on the in the EU crowd on LF and medium frequency, and I'm still in there on that. I put up an SDR receiver on the island, and I monitor nightly and upload all the 630 meter activity there, upload it to the medium frequency site RSGB runs. And Steve also signed out of the garage where it's cold. Mike and I say, yeah, it may be cold outside, but you know, that's why we built the house around the radios, not the other way around. Gotta have the priorities straight. All right, gang, good hearing everybody in there. And Henry on the on the Litz wire. You know, I've tried all of the modes with the smaller Litz wire. It's fine, but I tried running just a straight coil where I had mechanically and 500 degrees heat. I thought I had cleaned off things pretty well on a coil, replaced one of the coils in the low-pass filter for my 600-watt amp, and no, it still ran warm, so I was pretty sure that all of the strands were not made up. So before I make this multi-tap toroid, I really have to have the procedure down. I saw one method from a fellow in Germany which said the old-time method was to heat it up with the flame and then dunk it in denatured alcohol. And that supposedly, and then just wipe it clean and then solder it. Well, that didn't even work as well as just the X-Acto knife method, which was the first one I used also, but like I say, 600 strands, it's pretty hard not to get a couple. And the ones you don't connect, I mean, they really heat things up. But anyhow, that being the case, it may just be that I'm not going to have any luck with doing that. But I'll try another. Oh yeah, the solder hot pot. I did look for. I found my solder pot for the. I found a heater. I can't find the darn crucible. I think I'll go and get it from my brother's place. So I will try a little hotter and try mechanically cleaning as much as I can, and then going with the solder pot. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for and Henry. Thanks for riding the herd on the net. And Mike, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I says, Mike uses a lot of crystals, but I'm guessing you're using one of your little synthesizer deals, because yeah, for most of your old aircraft stuff, it was sure a lot of crystal channelized control. All right, guys, take it away, Mike. W7MS and U6F.
Well, thank you, Ron. And U6F, W7MS. Yeah, propagation is drying up, but still it was Q5 reception on all, with the exception of Bill. But I'm sure that's not going to continue. But good luck, Ron, with the Litz wire. And as you may recall, I gave you the hot plate over at Hammond Hi-Fi when we were digging through the pile of free stuff. But I would not relinquish the American Beauty soldering iron that I also had out of that pile of stuff. So good luck on finding the pot, but at least in that sequence of events, there was no pot to go with the hot plate, as I recall. But maybe I'm wrong on that. But good luck. And I was chuckling at Henry's comments on Drano, because I don't even think you can even buy the hard rock candy version of Drano anymore. I was looking for it, because that's the one that'll actually clear a drain, that sodium hydroxide, and everything else now is consumer safe, relatively speaking. But the old Drano, yeah, that's sodium hydroxide. That's certainly some nasty stuff. But a few comments for Dave. Yeah, the 18S4 was 10 tune channels. and possibility of 20 different operating frequencies, depending if you were within the parameters of the tuned circuits. And I am currently, sort of as Ron predicted, but I'm using some of the old, now obsolete Epson programmable clock generator chips internally in place of the crystals, because the issue is, for every operating frequency you need a transmit and a receive crystal, and that gets extremely complicated. And with this setup, there's no issues. It's just push to talk and a few milliseconds for the dynamotor to spool up to speed. But with that, I think it's just probably time to say 7 threes to one and all, and we'll be back next week. So over to Chuck. K0DWC W7MS, and it's currently, oh my gosh, it's warming up in Reno, 20 degrees.
Okay, Mike. W7MS K0DWC. All right, very good. All right, well, I never heard of those. I'll say my 7 threes as well because I'm starting to lose some people here. So I think this will work for it. But thanks, guys, for being there. I'll be net control next Sunday morning, and look forward to having all of you back again. So with that, I'll say my 7 threes, and let's see. Steve signed already. I'll hand it over to Richard, WR6J, to take it. Good to hear you again, Richard. This is K0DWC. 7 threes.
7-3 to the group. W644, this is WR6J. Thanks for passing it over. I'll make it pretty brief too. Yeah, the band is definitely deteriorating. I want to say the round don't seem to last for the music spec. I did it back in 2015 using an experimental FCC license. From what I've seen looking around, I noticed that it seems to be very not sure, maybe I get set up on it. If I do, maybe we can watch some schedules sorted out. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say 7-3 to the group. I will not be here next week because I'll be up at the boat, but I'm hoping I'll be back coming up. So take care, everyone. Stay warm. And I'm going to pass it over to K6VXY1W.
Okay, excuse me. WR6J, Richard. Nice making your acquaintance. We may have worked, but I'm not sure when it was. But good signal and everything. We got a nice area coverage again. We got someone down there from near San Luis Obispo. Anyhow, it's K6VXY. Skies are blue here. Sun's up. I was looking at the almanac, and it doesn't get really good this winter. I thought it was going to be terrific, as far as the sunrise. The sunset does kind of change around quite a bit, but the sunrise it's going to be a rough third round, I think, for a while. And with that, I'll keep it short also. It's K6VXY. Nice talking to you all. Thanks for all your comments. Appreciate it. And I'm turning it over to... he's gone. I believe I'm turning it over to good old Dave there in Livermore. W6MQI is K6VXY. 73 is all.
K6VXY, W6MQI. Alright guys, yep, this is just starting to fade. And Mike, thanks for the info on the rig. And I'll see if I can get something done around here in the way of radio this week. We shall see. Alright guys, 73. And I think it goes to Robert. If not, over to net control. So try Robert for 77 MKA, W6MQI.
Alright, now you have kind of tough copy the last few, but 7-3 to all. And on the list fire, I think I remember from an old QSC, a Winston speaks about using aspirin to strip the enamel off there. Supposedly you were to put your aspirin tablet there at the end of the wire and then heat it with the soldering iron, and that somehow, I'm sure it's old unbuffered aspirin, but I think that lacquer thinner or acetone would work better for taking that enamel off. But I remember seeing that someplace, so it's yet another method. Well, 7-3 stall, and maybe we'll catch you next week. Back up to Henry, WA7YBS in the net, W7MKA.
Okay, Robert, W7MKA, WA7YBS. Yeah, you came up. That was 100%, that transmission. So you never know. Propagation flux a lot. And, of course, it's always perpetually going down, you know. But that was a little bit better. So, well, thanks everybody for participating in the net. It's appreciated. And as Chuck mentioned, he'll be net control next week, so we hope to hear everybody back. And until then, have a good weekend, or what's left of it, and a good week coming up. 73 all around, WA7YBS will be off and clear.